Hey guys. So I wasn't even sure if I was going to hop on today because I don't know how many people caught my stream last night, but I had a bit of an existential crisis last night, realizing just how much work I have left to do on my project versus the amount of time I have left until my project is due. I am in an online boot camp at the moment with a lot of other people here on Twitch, and the boot camp's actually held here on Twitch. I'll tell you about that in a second. But we have our final project, I guess you could call it, an MVP, so a minimum viable product, is due on June 1st. And so that is a little less than 4 weeks away. And it just dawned on me last night. Like, do you ever have those moments where you think something's a long time away, and then you suddenly realize, like, you can count the number of days. you're almost there. So that was me last night. And anyway, so I wasn't sure if I was even going to stream today. Usually I like to stream Code Wars in the morning and interview prep type stuff. I'm not going to be doing that today. I'm going to be working on my project, and hopefully I'll be able to make some progress. If I feel like I'm not really able to work on my project very well and stream at the same time, I'm probably going to hop off stream early just because I do have a lot of work to do. But it is nice to hang out with people, so we'll give it a go, right? Anyway, so yeah, I have a lot of work to do. Let me hop over to the MiniMe so you guys can see. Okay, so right now, don't mind my my atom. I don't know if other people's atoms do this, where there's like a glitch and it just takes away all the pretty colors in HTML files and other types of files. It's really annoying, and I don't know. I'm not a VS Code girl, but honestly, like, this glitch alone makes me tempted to switch to VS Code just because it drives me nuts. But I digress. So yeah, I had a project that I was working on for my final project. I didn't get super far in it. Like, don't think I got really far and then changed my mind. But basically, I changed my mind 2 days ago. I have a completely different project I'm trying to do. I switched for multiple reasons, but the main reason is I was having trouble fully grasping the model view controller, like, architecture, I guess you would call it. So this new project is very, very much based in MVC, and that's why I switched to it. I also think it's a cool idea. And right now I am just trying to kind of get my head around MVC and how it works. And this morning, here, I'll switch back to Big Me, you guys can see. Like, so this morning I had like paper notebook, out. You got to go classic, right? And I've literally been just typing, like, or writing down, like, okay, user goes to this page, what's happening? They click on this, what happens? And step by step by step, and trying to keep track of all the different folders and files that this action has to go through, right? Like, and with MVC, there are a lot of folders and files, and it's not like this is a huge, this isn't a huge, like, company-wide project, right? It's me. It's just me. And there are, I mean, you can see here on the side, oh wait, it's still Big Me. You can see here on the side, like, there's a lot of folders, right? So there's a config folder, I mean, Git, but, this VS Code folder is a leftover because I copied the code base from a group project I did, an Instagram clone that I did. So somebody had a VS Code folder going on. But anyway, there's a config folder, there's a controllers folder, there's middleware, there's models, there's public, there's routes, there's views, partials. Like, it's a lot. So the only real way that I found to be able to understand what's going on is to just go for it and just start trying to mess with it and see what I break. So that's what I'm doing today. And I think I understand what's happening when somebody clicks sign up. I think I understand what's happening when somebody clicks log in. And it's a start, right? I was just getting my database set up before I hopped on here. I didn't even realize what time it was when I hopped on here. So I was just getting that started, and yeah, like, just doing this thing. Here. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to add a link over here. on the Discord I'm on. I forgot to do that. Anyway, so here I am. I am, like I said, starting to understand what's going on. I am working on it. This morning, my goal is I have, basically my mornings are my work time. My kids are at school in the morning. So this is my time that I can actually work uninterrupted for a few hours. I am trying to understand the file structure. I think I have it understood as much as I can understand it without actually doing things and interacting with it and breaking things and fixing things. So I did that. Now I want to get my database set up so that my goal for today is I want my database to be able to take in new user information, store, users, add users, all that good stuff. I want somebody to be able to, so basically this app is going to interact with the Google Books API, and users are going to be able to add a book to their I don't know, collection of books that they have, like their bookshelf, if you will, and they'll be able to add media associated with that book. So say this is aimed towards children, this app. So say a child read The Very Hungry Caterpillar, right? They could then upload a picture of a drawing they did of the Very Hungry Caterpillar, or they could maybe even upload or enter, a book report on it, or a link to a Very Hungry Caterpillar recipe that they and their parents made, right? So like I want to have, my vision is to have a bookshelf of, books that kids are reading with associated media, and the ultimate goal is to be able to have teachers sign up and create a classroom cohort on there so that students in class can share with their classmates what they're working on. Yeah, so that's the plan. But anyway, so by today I would like to get the database set up. I want to start interacting with the Google Books API. I haven't done that in a while. I have done it in the past. I haven't done it for months, but I'm going to try to figure that out again. I kind of remember the documentation for that API was pretty good, so hopefully I'm not remembering wrong. And I want to be able to, set up the CRUD functionality, right, with just those API links. And then push goal for today is to be able to have the students, add things to, like, not just adding the books, but like adding their own things associated with the book. But that's a bit of a push goal. So that's my goal for today. And like I said, I'm here. I don't know how long I'm going to stream, just because I swear my brain broke on stream last night when I realized how little time I had left to do all this. Like, it broke. I can't even describe it any other way than that. I had a moment where I realized just how much I have to do. What is all this? Why is this post.js? Okay, I haven't even touched this file yet. There's a lot of files that I started touching. Yes, I see like this error where it turns everything white. Drives me nuts. And I have like little comments to myself and little divs, just saving spaces. It doesn't really do anything yet, but it is what it is, right? Like, it's fine. So, okay. Anyway, let's see. I guess we can look at the Google Books. Google Books documentation and get started. Figure out what's going on here, right? Okay. So, using the API, Google Books API for developers. That sounds like a good place to start. Okay, interact with people who want to write applications that can, okay. Every request your application sends needs to identify your application to Google. Okay. I will probably just use an API key. Let me write it down. I don't really want to do stuff with API keys on air because that kind of defeats the purpose. But I'll have to do that. All right. If the request requires authorization, such as a request for an individual's private data, then the application must provide an OAuth 2.0 token with the request. Oh. Well, right now I'm not using Google logins I had thought about adding a Google sign-in and using their sign-in. But right now I'm just using local auth. So I don't need to use that, but that is good to know in the future. If I do switch to Google authorizations, maybe it can keep track of, I wonder if I would have access to books that they have saved in their like Google Books account. Although who really uses Google Books? I don't know. Everybody uses Goodreads that I know. Anyway, okay. I think I'll be okay with an API key. If the OAuth token thing is pretty easy, I have not done that before, but if it's pretty easy, I might go with that just to save myself hassle down the road, but I think I'm going to do the API key. Okay, so you have to get an API key. Okay, got it. Okay, I'll do that later. You gotta add it to all your requests. That's easy enough. Okay, Google Books IDs. You need to specify ID fields with certain API method calls. There are 3 types of IDs used within Google Books. Okay, only 3. That seems pretty good. Okay, a volume ID is a unique string given to each volume that Google Books knows about. An example of a volume ID is whatever. You can use the API to get the volume ID by making a request that returns a volume resource. You can find the volume ID in its ID field. Okay. Bookshelf IDs. Numeric values given to a bookshelf in a user's library. Okay. So this would be if I would have to be using the OAuth thing to do this bookshelf IDs because I would need to be signed in to Google Books. So I'm not planning on using that right now. Let's keep going. User IDs, unique numeric values assigned to each user. These values are not necessarily the same ID values in other Google services. Okay, again, that sounds kind of like the OAuth type stuff, so I'm probably going to be using volume IDs. Okay, IDs on a Google Books site. This is pretty riveting stuff, huh? Since you're reading the Google Books API documentation, but this is life as a developer, is reading docs. So, okay, the IDs you use with the Books API are the same IDs used on the Google Books site. Okay, sounds legit. Okay. Volume ID. When viewing a particular volume on the site, you can find the volume ID in the ID URL parameter. Okay. Bookshelf ID, user ID. Again, I don't care about those. Performing a search. Okay, here we go. You can perform a volume search by sending a GET request to the following URL. It has a single required parameter. Okay, so the query would be these things. Okay, so here they're searching for Flowers for Algernon by Daniel Keyes. Why would they pick the most depressing book in the world for their example? Okay, so anyway, they've got that thing. There's their query. They're looking for flowers. Okay, so they're only searching the word flowers, and the author is Keyes, and then you're using your API key. Okay. Okay. If the request succeeds, the server responds with an OK status code and the volume results. Okay, so we're getting objects here. Okay, so this object is, what is this? I'm guessing this is to the book. Let's see where this goes. I see this is going to be, I bet you this is going to be a link to Flowers by Vijaya Kisti-Bodak. Let's see. Okay, that just took me to, I should have seen that coming. Okay, let's see. Okay, so that is that. There's the identifiers. Now I know I did use the Google Books API before. Oh, here are where the links are. So then if you wanted, so you would have to drill down into the object you're getting results for. This thumbnail is going to be, okay, if I am reading this correctly, this thumbnail is going to be a picture, a picture of the front cover of Flowers by, what was it, Vijaya Kisti-Bodak. Let's see. Yes, okay, all right, cool. Obviously, I'm going to want to put in more specific searches so that the kids aren't having to pick between too many books. Let's see, search specificity. I'm not really sure if I can do anything. Like, I'll just have to say that they'll have to be like pretty specific, right? Okay, there's optional query parameters. So here's an interesting thing. It says that they search for flowers by keys, but none of these were flowers for Algernon by keys. Like, it didn't even come up, which is kind of interesting. Like, you would think that if you're having the plus, you would come up with, at the top of the list, you would think would be things that match both parameters, right? The title and the author, but they seem to be saying, like, maybe not. I don't know. Okay, in addition to the standard query parameters, you can use the following. All right, let's open this in a new tab to read in a second. Okay, download parameter to restrict the return results to volumes that have a date. I don't care about that. You can use, like, basically this is only if you want to find like ebooks, right? Filter to restrict only, oh, okay, or at least part of it, free ebooks, paid ebooks. Again, I don't really care about these. I'm not trying to build like a store. Pagination. Well, let's see. You can paginate the volumes list by specifying 2 values. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Like, it'll show you how many results at a time, right? Print type. Okay, I will probably use this print type. Print type, because I don't want kids getting magazines. I don't know how often it'll come up, but print type, books. We'll keep it to just books. Projection, all volume fields, only certain fields. What? What does that mean? Returns only certain, so that the object is smaller, right? I think that's what it's saying. It. The object that it returns will have much less information. Is that? I think maybe that's what it's saying. Maybe not. I'm not sure. I really couldn't tell you. Okay, sorting. By default, the volume search request returns the max results. Search by order by. I want to order it by relevance. So I'm going to keep this one. So order by parameter. So order. Sorry, I'm just writing on my notebook here. I've noticed when my brain gets a little frazzled, I tend to go for pen and paper to organize my mind. Okay, you can retrieve specific information. Okay, yeah, this is where they're talking about the volume ID, if you know exactly the book. So this would be a case where later on in my application build, once I do add a functionality for a teacher to make a classroom cohort, that teacher could search for the books and select the books that they want for the cohort, and then that volume ID will get saved. And actually, initially, so right now, right? So imagine, a kid searches for a book, they find the book they want, they click on it, they add it to their database. What they're going to be adding is going to be a reference to that volume ID. Yeah, okay. Let's get request, response. Okay. Access info, all right. All right, and then this is bookshelf stuff. Okay, yeah. All right, because we're not working with my library, we're not working with my bookshelf. What's this? Adding volume to my bookshelf. Oh, here we go. I was like, why isn't there a menu over here? But it was over here on the right. Okay, where am I? Working with my library, query parameter reference. Okay, the query parameters you can use are summarized in this section. Why, thank you. Yeah, see this? These are nice docs. These are nice. Okay, excellent. Okay, so I have a few notes. I'm going to need to get an API key. I need to remind people to be pretty specific in their search, so I will probably put up, a title and an author field. So I might I might require both. Because I think that will help a lot with the specificity. So like say a kid was, searching for the hungry little caterpillar, they're not going to get some really random results, right? Like they're basically going to get the Eric Carle book because they're going to put in Eric Carle. Okay, cool. So let's see. That's good. Okay. So specificity, I'm going to limit it to print type of books in my queries, and I'm going to order by relevance in my queries. I don't really need to do anything about that. It just kind of will happen. The users won't see any of that part. That'll be good. Okay, so that will be, I'm trying to think. I have to go back to my code now to think. Think. I feel like Winnie the Pooh, like think. When will they be using the Google Books API? So they'll be logged in, they'll be on their dashboard. No, I want to do it on a new post page. So there'll be a new post, which I'll probably rename post to something else. It'll be a new something or other. They'll do that. That's where the form will be. The form will be in the new post. Okay, so new post, that's the form to search. They can search books there to add to their shelves. And then they could also select, I want them also to be able to select a book that they've already added, right? So say they added, say the kid went in ahead of time and they added 5 books to their shelf. I want them to be able to just go in on new posts and see the books they already added to their shelf. Like they shouldn't have to keep researching for the Hungry Caterpillar. It should just be there and they can select that and then add, media, right? So that'll be good. All right, cool. Oh, all right. Oh, this screen makes it look like I'm like some elite hacker. It's just an SVG file, but it looks really fancy. Okay, cool. So that'll be in new post where that's going to be where the API requests happen. Okay, I'm just going to put this here. I already wrote a note to myself, so this is where the magic happens. The room where it happened. The room where it happened. Okay, this is where the Google Books API request form should be. I write notes to myself all the time. Oh, do you see? Do you see how Adam is doing that weird glitch? Drives me nuts. I don't know. I've tried Googling about it too, like to see if there's a reason, like is there a rhyme or a reason? See, like if I get rid of that, and it's not to do with the comments. See, look, because I put the comment back, and then now that section's fine. It's just Adam. Adam's just, I don't know. Maybe I should switch to VS Code. I don't know. I'm lazy. Okay. All right. Cool. So let's see. All right, we've got a lot going. All right, let's see. I need to set up Cloudinary because I want students to be able, I think students, users. I want users to be able to upload like artwork because so the idea for this app for sharing bookshelves and its associated reactions came because my son, I have 2 sons, but my oldest, he is 5 and he's getting to an age now where sometimes he'll hear a story or see a show and he'll make art, right, inspired by it. And I just think it'd be really cool. And, at school too, they read things, they do projects, and they, make the art that goes with it. I just think it'd be really cool to have a place where a classroom could virtually share what they're doing and kind of inspire each other, especially over something like summer break, right? Like if kids could share with their friends what they're up to, maybe, just maybe, it would, draw them away from screens, at least for a minute. I know I'm probably being way too optimistic about that, but maybe, right? I mean, maybe. Kids love their TVs though, so. All right, cool. So, yeah, I have a lot to do. I think I'm going to actually end stream early today because I do have a fairly good idea of what I want to work on, but I do need to work with API keys a bit and database keys, and Cloudinary has, I'm sure, its own special keys or logins, and frankly, I don't want to try to deal with keeping them secret on Twitch, so I'll probably just log off and hop back on next week. My next stream is next Tuesday, so that's what Tuesday is today. Yesterday was the 5th, the 12th, the 11th. I believe Tuesday is the 11th. So I will be back then at 10 a.m. Pacific, and this project should be a lot farther along by then. I should at least have a skeleton layout operating. You know, it might not be the prettiest thing in the world, but users will be able to be doing things. Next week's stream should be pretty exciting, so definitely come back and check it out then. Hopefully I'll be a little less frazzled. I will be more in control of the fact that I don't have that much time until this is due. And yeah, awesome. I know this was a really short stream today, but thanks for checking it out. Let me know what you're working on. I am on Twitter at blah blah blah, same as this username here. And I'll catch you guys next time. All right? Bye.